December 3 of my Christmas series, Gnome Valley Adventure. December 3. The full moon shines like a white pearl on the deep blue sky. A man is walking towards the troll forest with a braided basket in his hands. The snow is deep and the man plods as fast as he can in the moonlit night. In the troll forest, the man puts down the basket in which he has a sleeping newborn baby. Then the man just leaves the basket in the forest. Down the big old stump, the trolls and gnomes keep themselves busy. Mama Gnome bakes bread. Grandfather Troll rests in his armchair by the warming fire. Falcon looks at the children, and Tassel spins yarn on the spinning wheel. Suddenly, the silence is broken by a baby's crying. Totte, Lisa, and Buteo looks out through the window, through the round little window, and see the basket from which the screaming comes. Look! Somebody has put a screaming basket up by the big old stump, Totte shouts and looks surprised. Tassel and Falcon look through the window and notice the basket. A while later, Tassel walks out of the big old stump, dressed in her brown bear fur and thick stuffed winter boots. Falcon follows her to the basket. Tassel looks down into the basket and picks carefully up the newborn human baby. Tassel wraps her brown woolly cape around the baby, shivering from the cold. Buteo, Totte, Lisa, and Grandfather Troll run out of the big old stump to look at the human baby. Everyone notes that there's something special with the baby. Big head, slanted almond-shaped eyes, small nose, mouth, and low-set ears. Tassel tries to cradle the baby to sleep in her arms, but it doesn't help. What's wrong with it? Buteo says and looks concerned. It needs a mother's breast milk, Grandfather Troll says. Queen Halia and King Aquila come out from the castle wondering what's going on. Tassel gives the child to Queen Halia. So, it was a human baby, huh? I thought you all gathered around a crying basket, King Aquila says and chuckles. You're nuts, Aquila, Queen Halia says, bringing the human baby inside the big old stump. Down the big old stump, everyone has gathered around the warming fire. They cozy up as Queen Halia breastfeeds the little human baby. Can we keep the little baby? He or she is so cute, Semla says, taking a closer look at the baby. Then Falcon stands up. Some trolls steal human babies and replace them with their own offspring, but we don't do that. We should bring the baby back to the human mother, Falcon says kindly but firmly. Grandfather Troll stands up from his armchair with the help of his wooden cane. Falcon is right. We have to leave the baby back to its parents, he says and agrees. But why was the baby abandoned here in the first place then? Tassel asks, flattening her pointy ears like an angry cat. Grandfather Troll sighs and ogles at Queen Halia, changing the baby's diaper. When a baby is born with physical disability or a mental disorder, humans believe they've gotten so-called changelings, or they believe they've been punished by their god, So, tragically enough, they either drown them in wells, strangled or beaten to death, or simply leave them in the forest to die. Then it would be better for the baby to stay with us, Samla says, looking upset. Yeah, and I could use the baby to build animals or figures out of cones, Coney says, excited. And I could teach it to bake roll cakes, Rolly says, licking his mouth. Human children should be raised by other humans. This child would do much better by coming back to its mother, Grandfather Troll says, pointing with his cane. Good words, good thoughts, and good deeds are what we trolls should strive for. And our good deed today will be to bring back the baby to its mother, Falcon says kindly but firmly. I'll go and bring back the baby back to the mother, Tassel says, determined, and stands up. Grandfather Troll smiles and nods at Falcon. As it's not danger-free at night time in the forest, I suggest Falcon to guide you. Understood, Falcon says, raising his right hand to his forehead. Tassel nods. A while later, Tassel stands outside the big old stump with a human baby in the basket. Queen Halia has put a tiny, warm bear fur blanket in the basket to keep the baby warm. Falcon puts the saddle pad and saddle on Bulsara and gets up on his back. Milvus gives Falcon a lit torch. Be careful, you two, Queen Holia says, petting the horse. Don't worry, Mother. I know a human village not far from here, Falcon says, smiling kindly. And soon Falcon and Tassel wander off into the dark night. The ghost-like hoots from the owls echo in the dark. The black branches on the pine and spruce trees resemble witches' fingers and arms, moving in the ominous wind. Tassel looks nervously around, but with Falcon riding by her side, she feels safe. The snow crunches under Tassel's feet and Bulsara's hoofs. When Bulsara suddenly stops, his ears point forward and his body tenses. Falcon grabs quickly Tassel's woolly cape and stops her. A wolf with a human man's body, half covered in fur, stops right in front of Tassel and Falcon. The werewolf gets very close to Tassel, almost too close for comfort. Young maid, has though an unborn fetus's heart to offer me, the werewolf says, drooling. The sharp teeth shine like sharpened knives in the moonlight. No, but a shot of Langer, Tassel says, and gives the werewolf a hard punch on the jaws. The werewolf falls and lands into a ditch, and Falcon struggles not to laugh. When Tassel and Falcon come out of the forbidden forest, they reach the human village. It looks similar to the Gnome village, with small, tarred red cottages with white knots. All the candles inside the houses are put out. The humans are sleeping. Now you have to go alone, but I'll wait for you, Falcon says, smiling kindly at Tassel. But how do I know which house I should go to? Tassel says and looks concerned. Take a look inside the windows or sneak into the houses looking for a cradle. Normally, no one doesn't peek inside people's windows or sneak into people's homes. But in this case, you have to do it for the baby's sake and safety. Tassel looks down in the basket where the human baby sleeps with a thumb in his mouth. With a tail between her legs and basket in her hand, Tassel steps closer to the human village nervously. The snow lies like a big, thick blanket sparkling like pearls in the moonlit night. The snow crunches below Tassel's feet where she goes. Tassel reaches a tarred red house and peeks inside the window. She removes some mist on the window. Underneath the window stands an empty cradle. Tassel sneaks silently inside the house, where the human family are sleeping heavily. Tassel sneaks carefully into the parents' bedroom, putting down the basket on the wooden floor. Then she carefully lifts the baby up and puts it into the cradle. Tassel makes herself tiny and jumps out to the window. She opens the window very carefully and opens enough for her to step outside. Then she closes the window again. But once she gets outside, Tassel grows large again and falls into the snow with a loud thud. Suddenly, Tassel gets blinding lights from torches in her face. Tassel freezes in fear and stares into the mysterious two-legged creatures looking at her with wide glowing eyes. "Troll!" the men shout in panic, rushing to grab their guns. Bulsara gallops in full speed towards Tassel with Falcon on his back. Falcon pulls quickly up Tassel in the saddle. The bullets fly in the air and one of them hits Tassel in the arm. Tassel screams in pain. The bullet burns like burning charcoal in her arm, and Falcon grabs Tassel's other arm before she falls off. The chaos fades as Falcon and Tassel disappear into the forest. A human mother runs out in the snow in her nightgown. "Have you all lost your mind? The trolls brought back my baby!" she shouts, holding the baby Tassel brought back. Back home in the troll forest, Tassel gets the bullet removed from the arm by Dr. Tornio. Dr. Tornio cleans the wound and puts bandage on it. "That's probably the last time I'll ever help a human," Tassel says and looks grumpy. "But you did a good deed. You most likely made the mother of the baby very happy," Falcon says and smiles kindly. Totte looks out through the little round window. He sees a human wearing a long skirt and a woolly cape. She puts down a basket in the snow near the big old stump. "Look, everyone! A human wearing a skirt put another basket in the snow," Totte shouts. "Well, I'm not going back to the humans again," Tassel says and looks grumpier. "I'll go out and check it." A while later, Falcon comes with a basket and Totte, Hiera, Buteo and Lisa run curiously towards the basket. Falcon puts down the basket on the table, pulling off the pretty cloth. In the basket there are soft saffron buns, buckthorn jam, salt pork, smoked sausages, salted herring, cold smoked salmon, and a bottle of cloudberry juice. On the bottle, the human mother had put on a note which Grandfather Troll reads. On the notes it says, "I want to thank the one who brought back my baby. Therefore I'll send some of God's gift to thee to show my thankfulness during Christmas." After Grandfather Troll read it to everyone, everyone gets a warm feeling inside. "Oh well, humans without weapons seem nice," Tassel says and looks a little ashamed. The rest of the late evening, everyone gathers around the warming fire as the full moon shines down on the big old stump. Well, that's December 3 of my Christmas series. I hope you liked it, and see you tomorrow.